This is Rob Tebbutt for Boxing Social in association with Betfred. Delighted, as always, to be joined by the English heavyweight champion, Mr. Fabio Wardley. How are you, sir?
I'm good. How's things, mate? How we been? All right?
All good, thanks, mate. All good. I'm just about recovering from, it must have been 12 hours or so straight boxing on Saturday night, which took me to the early hours of Sunday morning. Did you catch any of it?
Did you stay up for it? Did you stay up?
I certainly did, yeah, which is it's getting harder and harder because I'm getting old.
I tapped out. I was there at about 1 and I thought, oh, am I doing this? I went, nah. And I could record it anyway, so I was just like, I'm recording it and I'll watch it tomorrow.
So you've got your youth, man. You should be able to just power through, go straight to the gym in the morning.
I'm trying to get ready for a fight here, mate. I can't run on 2 hours sleep. I can barely run on 8 as it is. I'm struggling.
You getting ready for a fight? Who are you fighting?
Good from you. Unconfirmed as of yet. There's a few names out there, but probably someone big. You never know.
Someone big, someone daddy, someone Browne.
There's a strong possibility of someone with daddy in the title. There's also a Browne in there somewhere as well. He might even be an Aussie, but who knows? Maybe. It's a big maybe.
For the purpose of this interview, theoretically, if you were fighting Lucas Browne, that's a good fight. You must be excited to return to the ring.
Yeah, buzzing to get back out there. Like, fight camp was obviously my last outing. It was great, loved it, and just with everything going on and stuff, I just miss it, man. I miss this, and as busy as things been with boxing lately, but there's just been loads of shows crammed into the back end of the year, and that I'm watching them every week, and I'm going, come on, get me there. And the bubble looks really cool this time around, like little games room and that, nice Hilton hotel. Bit better than where we stayed before and that. So yeah, I'm buzzing to get going. I'm definitely on the 21st with Dill on the white Povetkin bill. I'm definitely on it. It's just the pending thing at the moment is the opponent, but that's almost tied up.
Well, we wait with bated breath. I'm sure you've got a big surprise for all of us just around the corner.
Massive.
Let's go back and touch upon your last fight, as you mentioned, at fight camp against Simon Vallily. Very impressive. A lot of positive outpouring of comments after that. What did you do after the fight? What's your time been? What have you spent your time doing since then?
I've been in the gym, really. I didn't really leave. There wasn't really, don't get me wrong, I had a week or two of fun and just chilling and that, but we were still pretty much in lockdown, so it wasn't like I was off doing anything and everything. There wasn't too much to do, but it was nice. Summertime, I was just out chilling, doing some stuff. Got proper into tennis, started up a new sport, got into that a bit. So I was just out really, just doing some stuff, the nice little things that I was doing, like when lockdown first went on, even them stupid things like little dog walks and just for walks in the park and whatever else. I found them quite enjoyable, playing a bit of tennis and whatever. So I just went mainly back to doing those, but then stuck in the gym as well. So yeah, just stayed busy, kept myself occupied.
What took you to tennis?
I don't know. A bunch of my friends were playing it, and I'm like, I'd never picked up a racket in my life, and the first time I played, I hated it. I dashed the racket across the court. I said, "Fuck this! I'm not playing a stupid game anyway." And then, when you slowly you get it right once, and then that gives you that little thing, and I'm like, yeah, okay, cool, I'll do it again. And then I just got a bit better. Don't get me wrong, I'm still shit, but it's still good fun.
Sort of, kind of how you took up boxing. You're going to become like one of these guys. Like every 10 years or so, you take up a new sport. You become English tennis champion.
Yeah, that's what it's going to be. I'm going to go, you know what? Forget this boxing stuff. I'm sick of getting punched in the face. Why don't I just smash a racket around all day? So that's next on the list. If boxing fails, if I lose my next fight, that's where I'm going.
You become a tennis. We could do some sort of. They've had like boxing and MMA. You need to work out a way where you can kind of, I don't know, amalgamate boxing and tennis. Maybe you can box someone with a tennis racket.
If they lose the set, I'll get a free dig on him or something.
How did you react to? I mean, obviously, fight camp feels like it was forever ago now, but it really wasn't. As I mentioned, you had a good win on there. How did you feel that your profile had changed after that?
Massive. Yeah, massively. got the blue tick, so that means obviously I'm a big deal now. That means I'm official. That means I'm a real big deal. But no, I'm only joking. But it just grew and grew and grew, and I like even silly things like social media followers, things like that. They all went up and through the roof, and just my name went from being that kind of, not anybody, but that guy in the background, to now someone who's more in the forefront of people's minds. Like when fights are happening with like other heavyweights and stuff, they're throwing my hat in the mix kind of thing, saying, oh, Fabio might be a good one for that, or Fabio might be a good one for that. Whereas I wasn't even a thought for a while, but now they're saying, oh, I'd like to see Fabio Wardley versus so-and-so, and I'd like to see Fabio step in and fight this person, and blah, blah, blah. So you just notice after a time that you're slowly becoming more and more prominent in people's minds.
Let's talk about Lucas Browne. As I said, we are waiting for an official announcement on that, but we have seen him tweet today that he's going to be on the White Povetkin 2 undercard as well. There has been this back and forth between you guys. Talk to us about where that started.
It started with me getting bored, to be honest. I got like me, Dylan, the team with like I'm very chilled. I leave everything to them. Like if they, in terms of I knew what date I was aiming towards in terms of wanting to fight it, but opponent was the bit that was just becoming problematic, and a lot of people were saying no, and we was offering me out to near on everyone, and someone had an excuse, or someone had a reason, or someone just outright said no, or whatever. So this went on for a while, and it was just becoming more and more kind of aggravating, to the sense. I was just like, come on, like someone fight me, like anyone. And I just decided to kind of like take it into my own hands a bit, and just one night I was a bit bored, and I was like, you know what, forget it. Like I'm gonna just poke him a bit and see what happens. I'm gonna poke the bear and see what I get from it. And I did. I gave him a little prod on social media. I set up I put up an Instagram story and just gave him a little poke in a polite way. But I said, like, look, if you want it, it's here. Come get it, kind of thing. And we spoke for a bit in private and DMs and stuff, and spoke about it, and was back and forth about some details of it, and blah, blah, blah. And that went on for a couple of weeks. And then we got more to a more serious point of it, of where like we've kind of ironed out the details of it now. So both sides were kind of happy with what was going on. And then we just had to then pass everything over to the big dog Eddie and Dill and the team and stuff, and so hopefully they could stick it all together.
Hopefully they have, Mr. Wardley.
Hopefully. I'm hoping. Fingers crossed, eh?
We spoke briefly at the start of the interview about this past weekend being such a ram-packed night of boxing. It obviously started over here in the UK. Alexander Usyk, somebody you know very well, against Derek Chisora. What did you make of that fight?
Good. I think it went pretty much how I thought it would go, and a lot of people did think it would go. Really, it was that kind of that pure boxing, almost masterclass from Usyk that you knew you was gonna get, and that kind of pressing the fight and hitting him anywhere and everywhere that you knew you was gonna get from Chisora as well. So it played out pretty much how everyone thought it would be. I think there was varying opinions on kind of who won what rounds, but there's been a lot of that lately in terms of judges' scorecards and just kind of what it's the thing, because boxing's so subjective that you might see a fight going one way and I see it going the other, because I like the pure boxing and you like someone who's pressing the action and getting off them big shots and blah blah blah. So it's a difficult one, but in my heart I think the right person got regardless of scorecards and whatever, I think the right person got his hand raised on the night. But it was a great fight.
What did you make of Chisora's performance? Obviously, we'd heard from David Hay several times, and then several times again, about how terrific shape Derek was in. Came out, set the pace from the first round.
Yeah, he did. He set the pace for the first couple of rounds and really pushed on. But then to me, it looks from rounds kind of 4 till about 8, maybe. He flagged a bit in the middle bits, and that's kind of where it maybe let him down a bit. Like I say, they were pushing so much that he was in the best shape. He was looking trim. And don't get me wrong, he looked good. He was in good shape. But like for me, I thought back to when he was fighting Dill for the second time, and he was in good shape that fight, and he pressed that fight the whole time. he was on the move the whole time. He was pressing it the whole. There was no point in that fight where I thought he had a little lull period. I thought he was like in that one he went all the way through until obviously Dill finished him off. But in the Usyk fight, I thought after about round 3 or 4, he really slowed and really kind of it got to him a bit. And don't get me wrong, he picked up again at the end and got his like second wind and went through the gears a bit again. But by then it was kind of Usyk was in full flow and there was no really kind of throwing him off that.
What do you make of Usyk's performance? Obviously, the fallout inevitably raises various different questions. The one for him still, obviously, is he big enough at heavyweight? What do you think?
I was surprised that he came in at like 15.5, I think it was, or just over that. I was a bit surprised with that. I thought he'd come in at least about 16, really. But this is the thing, if it works for him, it works for him. But the thing I always said was Usyk will be fine up until he gets up to them top boys, them real big boys, them real large guys. And then we'll kind of see what he's really made of. I think no one kind of outside of the top 4 or 5 really will distress him too much. But I think once you do then step up to them higher level guys, I think that's I know I'm not saying he can't do it because again, styles make fights, and I think the perfect style to get him is Derek's fight, but he just couldn't execute Derek's style. But I just don't think he could execute that fully. But at that top level, there's no one else that really fights like that. So then styles make fights. So maybe him versus a Joshua or whatever, then he shines even brighter because Joshua's bigger and slower and gasses out quicker or something like that. You don't really know until you're there. But whether he's big enough, I think I still some more questions about it. Like I say, some of them, he took some big shots. Like Derek got off that big right hand quite a few times, a lot more than I thought he would. And it landed flush a couple of times, and you looked fine. He looked like he took it on the chin. So he seems to have near on past the chin test at least.
You just mentioned Anthony Joshua there. Usyk now becomes WBO mandatory. A lot of talk of step-asides and Joshua Fury. But if it is indeed the WBO mandatory next, do you think Usyk's do you think he's ready for that? Is he well advised to go straight into the Anthony Joshua fight, in your opinion?
Whether he's ready or not is near on irrelevant, isn't it? Because he's going to do it regardless. He's not going to say no. He's not going to turn around. He's not going to say, oh, no, I want another fight and misses his mandatory position. He's going to go for it. He's going to take the opportunity while it's in front of him. Whether he's ready or not, I think so, yeah. He's competed at a very high level for a very long time. Like, don't get me wrong, he hasn't got that long 30, 40 kind of pro records, but everyone knows his amateur background. Everyone knows how long he's been boxing for. And don't get me wrong, the pro game is different, but that pedigree is still there. There's no taking that away from him. So, and he believes in himself wholeheartedly and fully. So I think he'd be comfortable with taking that.
And just before I let you go, this past weekend also saw the return of another heavyweight who we haven't seen or heard anything of in a while. Mr. Deontay Wilder returned on Halloween, trick or treat, with an interesting video for everybody to see. I don't know whether or not you would have seen it. If you did, let me know what you think.
I didn't see it. Because I purposely chose not to watch it or pay any attention because I knew what it would be. I just knew it would be a pile of excuses. And then I haven't seen the actual video, but I've seen the little bits of the breakdowns of people listing all the problems that he said he had and rah. And I just think like it's just soft. It's soft behavior, especially from someone who prides themselves on being like this great big warrior and I'm a fighter to the end, and he was saying like in the past he wanted to kill people in the ring and all of this stuff, and then when it comes to you losing, you want to bitch and moan about it all. Like it doesn't make any sense to me, and I don't respect it. Like I think if you're going to talk that kind of talk, you should take your loss like a man, take it on the chin and just say, look, I was beat for whatever reasons. Who cares if you felt heavy, if your legs felt weak or whatever? The pressure got to you, that's all it was. Someone walked you down on the night, which you haven't had before, and then your legs went, hang on, what are we doing here? This is not what we do. And you got beat and you lost, and now you want to come out with 101 excuses as to why. Like, it doesn't garner any respect from especially anyone in boxing whatsoever. I don't know anyone that's looked at that list or looked at that video and gone, right, he's got a point there. He's actually, yeah, I think he got done. Like, no one. Anyone that knows boxing knows the things that he listed are just not not like they're not probable to happen. Like with Fury and his gloves and his wraps. Like if you know boxing, you know that as soon as you go in that changing room, there is someone sat there from the board, from the commission, whatever, watching you 24/7, and they don't take their eyes off you. They sign them off. They check everything. So it's not feasible, and it just is known for being excuses.
Well, there we have it. The lowdown from the podcast extraordinaire, Mr. Fabio Wardley. I'm going to give you this opportunity, seeing as you've been on the Boxing Social podcast, to plug your own podcast before I let you go.
Yes.
You started it, and it is great for people who are watching.
So I've just started a little podcast, a little bit of fun. It's on Spotify, Apple Podcasts as well, and on YouTube as well. It's called Clearly Confused. It's featuring me and a good friend of mine, my previous strength and conditioning coach, Phil Day. And we just waffle, really. We waffle about everything and everything, about boxing, a lot of behind the scenes stuff, a lot of behind the scenes stories about kind of how things went for us in the past and coming through, and just a nice little general friendly chat between two good guys. So if you want to check it out, like I say, Clearly Confused on all platforms.
So I'm going to cut that bit out now. It's just being nice.
Dick.
Okay, the last thing before I let you go, we mentioned the fact that you now have an ever-growing fan base, and of course, why wouldn't you? So what message have you got to your fans before they tune in to watch you potentially face Lucas Browne on the White Povetkin 2 undercard?
One, thank you for your support. To everyone that's been with me from the start, to everyone that joined me in the middle, and everyone that's only just joined, just thank you, because without the fans, we're nothing. And tune in on the 21st of November. It's going to be a big night, and I'm going to do some damage and really, really set myself up for big fights coming next year.
Okay, well, Fabio Wardley, always a pleasure to catch up with you. Thanks very much for speaking to Boxing Social. Look forward to seeing you back in the ring, probably, potentially, maybe against Lucas Browne on the White Povetkin 2 undercard. Thanks very much.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.